You guys, this is the week before Thanksgiving, and we have school off all week next week. So I'm going to try and do Thanksgiving books this week. This is a book that I read last week to the upper grade classes. So if you heard it already, you know how awesome it is. If you didn't hear it, you're going to want to listen. And I kind of am going to give you a little challenge at the end to see what you remember from the book. And if you don't know the answers, you'll have to go back through and listen again to find the answers. In class, I quizzed the kids and they got to share their answers. But here, you're going to have to quiz yourselves along with me. So get ready, pay attention because I'm going to quiz you. There's several things in here that I learned I didn't know before I read this book. So we're going to see what you learn from this book. Thanksgiving, Then and Now by Jessica Gunderson. It is a 3.8 accelerated reading level book. And I love the illustrator's pictures. The illustrator is Hoi Young Shin, and what adorable, cute pictures he did. Or she, I don't know, he or she. Thanksgiving celebrations. The Pilgrims landed in America in November of 1620. Hold on. Whoa. November of 1620? Right now, as I read this book, it is November of 2020. So, first quiz question. How many years ago did the Pilgrims land? Exactly how many years ago? Whoa. They weren't well prepared for their life in the new land. They landed in the winter. I don't think I realized that when I was a kid, that it was November in Massachusetts and winter and cold and probably snowing. Their fishing hooks were the wrong size. The seeds they brought from England didn't grow very well. During their first winter, many pilgrims died of starvation and disease. So here we have the heroes of the book. In the spring, however, help arrived. Native people called the Wampanoag showed the pilgrims how to plant corn. They showed them better ways to fish and hunt, and by the fall, the pilgrims had reasons to be thankful. So try and remember the name of the Indian tribes, the Wampanoag people. And bonus points, Google what the word Wampanoag looks like, the definition of it. I love how it even shows that they taught them how to make like a little mound of dirt and to plant the seed in it. Now, when our farmers plant, they have a tractor that makes a mound in a row and they plant their seeds in. Still to this day. In the fall of 1621, the Pilgrims began harvesting their crops. The corn had grown tall. Fish and wild birds were plentiful. The Pilgrims gave thanks for their good fortune with prayer and a feast. About 90 Wampanoag men joined in, and everyone celebrated for 3 days. Whoa! Nearly 400 years later, not nearly, exactly, people in the United States still celebrate the Pilgrims' first Thanksgiving. Many things have changed, but some things haven't. We still gather in the fall and give thanks, and we still eat lots of food. Thanksgiving food. Thanksgiving means turkey to most people, but the Pilgrims might not have eaten turkey at their first Thanksgiving. If they did, it was a wild turkey that they hunted. People today don't need a gun to find a turkey. Most grocery stores sell frozen turkeys. How many turkeys are sold in the United States each Thanksgiving? This number was surprising to me. 45 million, about that many. That's a good quiz question for you. To prepare for the feast, the Pilgrims picked corn and pumpkins from their garden. Some went to the woods and gathered berries and nuts. Others caught fish in the nearby Cape Cod. A small group of men hunted for wild birds. The Wampanoag hunted deer. So wild birds, deer, fish, berries, nuts, pumpkin, corn. Sounds like an amazing feast, right? Most people today don't pick, gather, or hunt for their food for Thanksgiving dinner. They shop. Many families serve corn, cranberry sauce, potatoes, and pumpkin pie along with their turkey. The Pilgrims may have eaten cranberries, but they didn't have sugar to make cranberry sauce. They didn't have potatoes or pumpkin pie either. Lots of paintings show the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag sharing Thanksgiving dinner at one big table. But the Pilgrims owned very few chairs. Well, that makes sense. They just got off the boat a year before, and unless they made furniture, they probably didn't have it. Many people sat on the ground to eat. They had napkins, knives, and spoons, but no forks. At Thanksgiving dinner today, most families still sit around a table. We usually use forks, spoons, knives, and napkins. Thanksgiving activities. The Pilgrims and the Wampanoag did more than just eat during their celebrations. They played too. Children may have played all sorts of running and jumping games. They may have played leapfrog or hide and seek. Okay, hide and seek, jump rope, and I don't know what's happening here to this little boy, but it's adorable and funny. Many children today play video games or board games for Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving. Others go outside and play basketball or football. Some watch the Thanksgiving Day parades. Hopefully the Macy's parade is still happening for Thanksgiving in 2020. At the time, the Pilgrims' first Thanksgiving, the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag still had much to learn about each other. They had signed a peace agreement just 6 months earlier. The Pilgrims' men showed off their marching and their shooting skills. The Wampanoag may have done some traditional dancing. Since 1934, football has been a big part of Thanksgiving. That year, the Detroit Lions, a professional football team, began the tradition of playing a Thanksgiving Day game. Other teams soon followed. Today, millions of people gather in front of the TV to watch their favorite teams play. The Pilgrims were very religious people. While they did not spend all of Thanksgiving in prayer, they likely took some time to pray. The Wampanoag also had strong beliefs. They had a tradition of being thankful for everything that Mother Earth gave them. The Pilgrims were Puritan religion. Okay, you can't look at this because it will give away my quiz answers. As it was long ago, Thanksgiving is a time to celebrate with loved ones. People of all religions and belief take time to think about what they are thankful for. Wow. Okay, so while we look at this picture, I'm going to ask you some quiz questions here. All right. How long was the Pilgrim celebration? They may or may not have had turkey. We don't know for sure, but what did the Wampanoag bring to the dinner? Where did they dine? I think if we were to reenact the Pilgrims' actual Thanksgiving, it would look a lot different than we do today. Did they look just like this picture? Not really. I think you should all try dining like the Pilgrims. And they did, what did the Pilgrims do for activities on Thanksgiving? What were some things the Pilgrims did not have? They didn't have something to sit on, but they also didn't have some pretty key ingredients that we have when we eat today. They didn't have a couple other things. I would say three main things they didn't have. It was like where they sat, what they ate with, and what went in their cranberries. What were those three things? They also didn't have potatoes. I'll just give that one away. I love mashed potatoes. Oh, you can see the answers. No cheating. All right. Now, my final questions were what year, how many years has it been since they landed in Plymouth? And what year did football start on Thanksgiving? And who was the football team? Do you think you got all the answers correct? Watch again after you answer them and see if you got it.